Well, everyone, the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max are actually very, very interesting iPhones. And the funny thing is that these iPhones just keep getting better and better the longer and longer Apple is actually still going through and selling them. So historically, the Pro lineup from Apple hasn't really been like the number one seller of their iPhone product. It's usually been the cheaper ones that they have. But I do think because of the weird decisions Apple's made with their current iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, as well as the cheaper lineup like the 12 mini or the 13 mini, those iPhones not really being that great of deals right now either. It kind of seems to me that a lot of people are just jumping straight to the Pro and Pro Max, and now the numbers are kind of backing that up. So from this article from 9to5Mac, basically a few days ago, they said the iPhone 14 Plus demand continues to fall, and they say that the 15 Plus is still going to be made. In this same article, they actually mentioned that as such, this paragraph starts, the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max continue to grow and account for the larger shares of iPhone 14 panel shipments. And they further on to say that the data from Young shows that Apple further increased panel shipments for both the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, I don't really think that, I still think there's a possibility the 14 and 14 Plus have outsold the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. I think what Apple typically does is they order a bunch of panels for their cheaper phones, and they order not so many for their more expensive ones. But it seems to me that possibly so many people wanted to buy the Pro and Pro Max this year that they just went ahead and kind of just, ordered more panels for the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. I think that's the thing that probably makes the most amount of sense to me. And that is actually pretty insane. So looking forward, what is Apple's approach going to be probably for the next couple of iPhones? Well, we've already seen that, they're already probably going to make an Ultra type of iPhone, which is going to be even more expensive than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So that is going to be another direction Apple's going into. And that is going to be very interesting because that in and of itself could potentially make the 14 Pro, even if they don't change the price of those, it could make the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max look like a little bit of a better deal considering those aren't the most expensive iPhones anymore. And it could even make, depending on what Apple does with their 15 and 15 Plus lineup in the future, it could make people just want to go and switch straight to the Pro and Pro Max as a default and think about those as more budget phones rather than the actual budget phones of the 14 and 15 and 15 Plus. So, in my opinion, I'm very surprised about the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. I'm surprised how many people like those iPhones. I think they're great devices, but I think it's more so the fact that Apple pretty much changed nothing with the 14s, and I think people wanted to change. I think that's why most people probably ended up upgrading. So, in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.